So good night, well, good evening, good evening and welcome to the Mingles of Vivo Life. I refuse to put the past video because the sound was terrible. Me working with the camera, okay? So until next week, I hope I'm having my new phone. So excuse me for that, I'm gonna do it all over again because I'm not happy with the quality of it, and honestly, you couldn't listen with me moving my hands and the microphone and everything. So here we go again. And sorry for those that were watching me live in English. Okay? So I'm gonna do it all over again. And as I said last week, I promised you guys that I was gonna come over and speak about how to identify our soul's purpose. Okay? And I'll start by saying that, as I always start, because we are light energy, and energy is governed by universal immutable laws, we all collectively have a purpose, which is that of growth and expansion. Because energy, one of those universal laws that governs energy, is the law of vibration, and it states that energy is in constant growth and expansion, and it cannot stop from vibrating ever. Okay, this vibration cannot be destroyed, cannot be stopped. Okay, so this expansion is what our collective purpose as a universe, right, is. We came to evolve, to expand, to grow. So we all carry that because we are all energy also, as I said, light. So we also have a purpose of growth. So our souls came to grow and expand. Now, let's see how individually our soul came to grow. How can we individually know how to identify our soul's path and our soul's purpose, okay? And the soul is going to pursue its growth purpose over any other, whether we like it or not, whether our mind, right, likes it or not, because remember that we always tend to think that we're here because of the purposes of our minds. And I'm telling you right now that that is very wrong. It is not so. Because the soul has and always will have sovereignty over any mental or physical aspect. Always. Okay? With each life experience and identity, the soul grows in terms of frequency and vibration and its level of purity of the light, the purity in the light that it is. Okay? So we're going to vibrate faster or to a higher frequency. That's what we do with each life. At the end of each life, the soul uses the identity, in this case Vanessa, and the experiences that this identity brings to it, that come with it, to learn and grow and expand in an emotional aspect. Because these frequencies that we all are, these waves or vibrations, that we are and we carry, okay, translates into energy in motion or emotions for us humans. I've said it before. And this is known as a soul's karmic path. And don't fear the word karmic. Karma means lessons, okay? Lessons. The soul is in an eternal, vibrational, and feeling state. Reason why I'm always saying that we can never die. This movement is what life is. And this movement is eternal, okay? We never stop feeling. Never. Can never stop feeling. Now, how can we identify which lessons or what purposes our soul has during this current lifetime? Another way of saying this is, what is our karmic paths? Okay? The fastest connection with our soul, I have to say, and our soul has to do with subconscious, okay, subconscious mind or emotions, is by practicing self-awareness and by paying attention on how you feel in every situation you live. So by asking ourselves, why did I feel triggered by that? How do I feel right now by taking this decision? Does this make me feel good, bad, obliged, angry, whatever it is, right? Identifying ourselves from an emotional aspect and observing ourselves from an emotional aspect at all times is what connects us with our souls, okay? So, paying attention to this, our emotions, that I've always said, are the common grounds between the physical and the spiritual. They are the only ones, not thoughts, the only ones experienced on both sides, on the spiritual side and on the physical side, okay? On both realms. So the soul information is easier to retrieve when we are emotionally self-aware and we get to know ourselves in a deeper manner. Okay? Also, I'm going to share that soul information is available for all of us within the oldest existing science, and it is that of astrology. And why do I bring, right, astrology in? Well, let me explain, because we are part of a far larger system. We are a system. Each life, each soul is a system within a far larger system, a whole. And you are like just one piece, right, inside that system that makes the whole system work. And that whole system is tethered by electromagnetic waves. These electromagnetic fields are out there in constant change and exchange. But we can't see them, and when we are born, we are imprinted with a specific electromagnetic frequency or a formula that was active at the exact time, date, and place of birth, okay? So you have like I call it, it's like the DNA, but it is a mathematical formula, frequency that you are attuned to and will always carry that frequency within you, okay? I now know that the more aligned we are with these souls' frequencies or karmic paths, the more health, the more balance and general well-being in all aspects of our lives we are going to experience. We'll be flowing, right? When we are aligning with it, we are flowing with the natural flow of our personal energetic field. This for us is the path of less resistance, and where you will thrive and feel your best. So that this is why it is so important to know this information, to have this information. If we are truly interested in further exploring our soul's purposes in my practice, okay, and mainly for the blockages and to identify the blockages and the lessons that a soul or a person came to learn in this incarnation, I analyze 2 placements from the natal chart, from the natal birth chart, okay? And these are the north and south nodes, which are the north and south nodes are also known as the lunar nodes. They are celestial geographic points or coordinates, map, that not only reveal your purpose in this lifetime, but also the forces driving you toward it. So you have a personal algorithm to you, mathematical algorithm that you need to become aware of, and I would suggest that you do. And these nodes change position every year and a half, okay? The north node is where you're going, and the south node is where you came from, so future and past, okay? These powerful and highly spiritual astrological placements offer extraordinary insight into your greatest strengths, your weaknesses, and uncontrolled and undiscovered potential, okay? So, the North Node provides information about what lessons our soul chose to learn during this current lifetime. And for us, this area represents the unknown. And most commonly, we live resisting it and feeling fear of walking into it, right? Because it is unknown to us. Although it is what we need to learn to surrender to and align with. So right there we have a challenge, right? Because we fear the unknown. And so this is the fear that we have to overcome during a lifetime. Okay? On the other hand, the South Node represents our past life and the lessons we have already learned, your domain, right? It represents our comfort zones. So, but if we stay in the South Node, the South Node does not provide growth, does not provide new. Okay? We stay in our South Node is not good for us because we are not changing, we are not growing. And remember that first purpose, universal purpose of growth that we have, and that the soul will try and will persist in accomplishing. So we cannot stay stagnant. We cannot stay in our comfort zones and in our South Nodes because it does not provide growth. Okay? So the other point that is crucial for me is our Chiron placement. And our Chiron placement is an Chiron is an asteroid that changes position every 5 years. Chiron is referred to as the wounded healer because it is an innate wound that we all are born with. Okay? Chiron placement in our natal birth chart can reveal the areas of our lives where we may experience the most pain and vulnerability, as well as our potential for healing and growth in those areas. Its transits can also indicate times of emotional and spiritual healing and transformation in our lives. So it's very important to become aware of this wound. Okay? Like, for example, as of today, the North Node is in the sign of Aries. So all babies born between July 17, 2023 and up to January 2025 will have their North Node in this sign, in the sign of Aries. That also tells us that the South Node is going to be the opposite sign to Aries, which is Libra. So all babies are going to have their South nodes, their past, right? Speaks about the sign of Libra. Okay, and Aries is the sign of me and myself, of the self, and Libra is the opposite sign, and the sign that speaks about us. Okay, the self and us. Okay, the collective. So Chiron also entered the sign of Aries. In the case of Chiron, it is also right now in the sign of Aries. It entered back in February 18, 2019. And stays there until June 19th, 2026. Remember, it changes every 5 years. So all babies born between this 5-year period carry the wound of the self, the wound of self, okay? That's how the Chiron wound, the innate wound, is called. It's the wound of self, because Aries, again, is the sign that represents the self. So, for these two placements, you only need to know your day and your year of birth. And there are many astrological online sites that provide this information for free. I can suggest two that come to my mind, like cafeastrology.com, and in Spanish, but it also has a lot of languages that it translates all the information into. It's called grupovenus.com, okay, grupovenus.com. So, retrieving soul information is crucial. It's crucial to human life in order to live healthy, balanced lives, as well as being able to achieve total well-being in all aspects of life when we consciously choose to align with it. After all, as I always say, it is the soul, the one that experiences, the only one that experiences and feels. It's not the body, okay? And the only one that will always, eternally prevail without needing the physical body. So there's no use in fighting, in resisting what it came to learn. When we allow it and we surrender to its path, this is why our life becomes much, much easier, we feel much fulfilled, and with total wellness and well-being, okay? So with this, I leave you tonight. Thank you for joining me, asking you to please give it a thumbs up, like it, and share it so that many other people can benefit from this information. As always, sending you love and light. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and see you next week. Giving you thanks for joining me. Join me next week. I invite you to join me next week here in the Mingles again of Evo Life. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.